हेलो एंड वेलकम ऑल। इस वीडियो में मैं आपसे बात करूंगा गेट 2019 के सिलेबस से सिग्नल्स एंड सिस्टम्स के जो क्वेश्चंस आए हैं उनके बारे में। इस पेपर में टोटल 5 क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए थे। अगर हम सिलेबस ऑब्जर्व करें वो 5 टॉपिक्स फ्रॉम द गिवन सिलेबस। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन जो है वो फ्रॉम फूरियर सीरीज, रादर क्वेश्चन वाज आस्क्ड ऑन द पीरियोडिसिटी ऑफ ए कॉम्बिनेशनल कंटिन्यूस टाइम सिग्नल। देन नेक्स्ट जो क्वेश्चन है वो फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म से है, दैट इज फास्ट फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म एंड डेसिमेशन इन टाइम अप्रोच विद द 6 पॉइंट DFT वाज आस्क्ड। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन वाज फ्रॉम द कन्वोल्यूशन फॉर द कंटिन्यूस टाइम सिस्टम एंड स्पेसिफिकली वी हैव टू ऑब्टेन द फोर्स रिस्पॉन्स फ्रॉम द गिवन क्वेश्चन। अगला जो क्वेश्चन था वो पोल और जीरो से पूछा गया था इन Z डोमेन एंड लास्ट क्वेश्चन जो है वो फ्रीक्वेंसी रिस्पॉन्स। इन दिस वीडियो द क्वेश्चंस आर अरेंज्ड इन रैंडम फॉर्म, but from the syllabus point of view if you observe these are the total 5 questions which were asked. So now let's move towards the questions. So question number 1, Z transform of a discrete time signal Hn is given और ये कहा गया है कि इससे हमने एक नया Z डोमेन फ्रेम किया है, that is P of Z which is multiplication of Hz and H of 1 by Z and it is having 0Z plus 1 by 2 plus minus J by 2 and this Pz is having total of 4 zeros. Obviously H of Z is having 2 zeros, so H of 1Z which is inverse of this will be having also 2 zeros, so in total this Pz is having 4 zeros. Which one of the following plot represent the all zeros correctly? So assume that first zero is Z1, so हमने यहाँ assume किया कि first zero Z1 है, it will be 1 by 2 plus J by 2 and another is its complex conjugate, so assuming it as Z2, so it will be 1 by 2 minus J 1 by 2. Now since it is a, if you observe this given P of Z, यहाँ पे जो term लिखी है this is H of Z and H of 1 by Z, so these are inverse of each other, so you can similarly write here Z3 which is the third pole will be inverse of 1 by Z1 and Z4 will obviously be complex conjugate of Z3. So if you take complex conjugate of Z3 you will get Z4. Now Z3 is 1 by Z1, so putting value of Z1 simply 1 upon 2 plus J 1 by 2 और यहाँ हमने LCM लेके 1 minus J complex conjugate से multiply किया है, so this will be the result of 1 minus J and क्योंकि ये टर्म जो है ये आपका हो जाएगा J square will be minus 1 और ये आपकी टर्म हो गई 2, so 2 से 2 cancel and other 0 will be complex conjugate, so it will be 1 plus J. So from the given options your I think this option last is having exact location of zeros. This is at 1 by 2 plus minus J and this is 1 plus minus J. So fourth option is correct for this question number 1. Next जो question है ये आपका पूछा गया है, आपको determine करना है force response of the system. Every system has two kind of response. One is because of the input applied the system will generate output and that is known as the forced response जो आपको obtain करना है and in this case the input given is unit step response, that is YS. So using the Laplace transform property GS is given, so convolution के accordingly output of system can be written as this GS is the transfer function multiplied by the Laplace transform of the input which is unit step, that will be 1 by S. Now you can write YS is equals to this is your GS, this 1 by S is term because of this. इसको हमने expand किया using partial fraction, you can write A over S plus B upon S plus 1 plus C upon S plus 3 and value of A अगर आपको determine करना है तो simple concept ये है कि जो यहाँ term है उसको हम यहाँ से eliminate कर दें, so अगर हमने यहाँ term नीचे denominator में S है उसको यहाँ से हटाया, you will get this expression and put the value of S where this term will be 0. So this factor will be 0 at S equals to 0, so you can find by putting S equals to 0 in this expression value of A will be 1. Similarly, to find the constant B, remove this factor S plus 1 from this expression, so you will remain term 3 minus S upon S plus 3 and where this value will be 0, it will be at S equals to minus 1, so putting S minus 1 you will get the value of B. Similarly, removing S plus 3 and putting S equals to minus 3 we will get the value of C. So this expression of by putting ABC values YS will be in this form and applying the inverse Laplace transform U of t is having 1 by S e to the power minus at ut will be having 1 upon S plus A. So if you solve it you will get the result yt is equals to u of t minus 2 e to the power minus t u of t plus e to the power minus 3 t u of t. So option number first will be correct for question number 2. Next जो question है, question में आपको दे रखा है combination of continuous time periodic signal, and we have to test whether this overall signal is periodic or not. If it is periodic, find its fundamental time period. Now we know that this time period can be obtained with the help of 2 pi over omega, where omega is the frequency in radian per second. So इस signal में ये DC term है, you can assume that it will be working as a level shifter, so it will not affect on the periodicity. And there are three different frequencies. First, omega 1 you can find with the finding the multiplication of t. So this will be pi, so you will get t1 equals to 2 seconds. Then for second frequency, which is 2 pi by 3, so you will get value of t2 is 3 seconds, value of t3 will be 4 seconds. Now we have to evaluate the ratio of t1, t2 and t3. If that value is rational, we say that overall signal is periodic. Now if you are obtaining t1 over t2, this value is 2 by 3, rational number. Similarly, this is also rational. To find overall fundamental time period, take the LCM of all these t1 to t3, and this will result in 12. So answer for this question number 3, it will be 12 seconds. Next, this is a very interesting question which is from Fast Fourier transform, and Fast Fourier transform actually evaluates the DFT. So FFT is not another kind of tool, it is only finding the value of discrete Fourier transform in a fast approach. Now to find DFT, we use x of k, this formula, which is summation 0 to n minus 1 xn e to the power minus j 2 pi by n. Multiplicative terms are n into k. This is known as the twiddle factor and commonly represented by this w with the point n, power is nk. So this also is given in the question. Now question is of 6 points, so n will be varying from 0 to 5, so you can keep value of n is equals to 6, so it will be 0 to 5. Now specifically the question is asked for the only one sample in frequency domain, and that is x of 1. So if you observe here x of 1, you can write it is coming from x3 and it is going in this way. So a1 is multiplied by minus 1 and also multiplied by x3, so I can write minus a1 x3. Then another signal is coming from this direction, so this I can write here minus a2 x4 and similarly minus a3 x5 because of this term. So this is your x1, and this is another approach of direct approach of writing the x of k. Now putting k is equals to 1 here, so it will result x of k the x of 1, and you can expand it. अब आप यहाँ क्या करेंगे कि एक specific property है, it will save your time, and that property is symmetry property. So symmetry property says w with the base n, that is n point, k plus n by 2 is minus w n k. Say n value is 6, so n by 2 will be 3. So अगर मुझे लिखना है कि w power 4 base 6, so that will be minus w6 power 3. So ये इसके equal होगा. और अब हम इन दोनों इक्वेशंस को अगर कंपेयर करें, कंपेयरिंग विद दीज टू इक्वेशंस, यू कैन राइट दिस minus a1 will be w6 base 3, and this value w6 base 3 is equals to minus 1, so value of a1 is equals to 1. Similarly a2 is w6 4 by comparing these two equations, and that a2 will be w6 power 1, and then comparing with the again same approach, this will be w6 power 5, so it is equals to w6 2. So you can check from the given options, 1 w6 power 1 and a3 is w6 2, so this will be your option number C. This is correct for this question number 4. Last question number 5. This is also very interesting question. It is desired to find a 3-tap causal filter. By 3-tap we mean that there are 3 number of samples, 3 sequences. Say 0, 1, 2, there are 3 sequences in the causal filter which give the 0 signal as an output to input in the form. Now input is in this form, and C1 and C2 are the real numbers, and this is impulse response. So consider that this is your causal system, this is causal filter which is having H0, H of 1 and H of 2, and input is given in this form which is exponential term, and complex conjugated individual terms are there. So overall output will be convolution. In frequency domain you can say there will be multiplication. So we will obtain, we will find the result using Fourier transform. So if I take Fourier transform of Hn, I will get h of e raised to j omega. So I can write considering a and b as a h of 1 and h of 2. So this will be expression of frequency domain. Now since we are saying that this is a 3-tap causal filter and input is xn, so obviously when input is given to an LTI system, you can write its expression in this form. So it is an independent form, and at this point frequency is, if you observe here in the given expression, this is minus pi by 2 is term here, over here is plus pi by 2. So frequency response omega will be minus pi by 2, and at this point it has to be plus pi by 2. Now to be the output to be 0, which is asked in this question, what are the values of filter taps A and B? By filter taps we mean the values of impulse response at 1 and 2. The output should be 0. for what values of A and B. So for output to be 0, this factor must be 0, also this factor must be 0. So we can consider two different cases. So here considering first case, when omega is equals to minus pi by 2, and we have obtained the relation of h of e raised to j omega. So if you put value of omega equals to pi by 2, then you will get this expression. So और second case इसी तरह से आप obtain कर सकते हैं कि अगर आपने ओमेगा की वैल्यू यहाँ रखा pi by 2 in this expression and comparing that to 0, तो आपको अब ये दो equations मिल गई, equation number 1 and equation number 2. अब अगर इनको ऐड करेंगे हम तो ये एक्सप्रेशन मिल जाएगा आपका these terms, ये जो टर्म है आपकी this will be 1 plus 1, ये आपका 2 हो गया, ये टर्म कैंसिल आउट हो जाएगी और ये टर्म हो गया minus twice of b. Now here you can find value of b, that is 1, और similarly अगर आपने माइनस किया तो आपको a की वैल्यू मिलेगा and that value of a is equals to 0. So for this given question, option D is correct. The constant a and b will be 0 and 1. So your impulse response for this sample is like this. It is 1, 0 and 1. So whenever you will give input as given in this case, it will generate output to be 0.